To study effect of bond strength with provided effective development length in concrete structure, review. Abstract. The connection among cement and support is vital to function as a composite conduct of reinforced concrete, RC. The few variables which impacts the bond pressure in RC are installation length, breadth of bar, cover, dispersing of bars, crossover support, grade, and imprisonment of cement around the bars, sort of totals utilized in concrete, kind of bars and covering applied on bars, assuming any, for consumption counteraction. Sufficient holding between building up bars and cement is fundamental for the palatable exhibition of RC structures. The concentrate essentially should concentration to accomplish most ideal result for wanted arrangement of advancement length as far as strength and impact of improvement length on substantial construction for security stress. Keywords: development length, reinforcement, code provisions, bond strength, lap splices. 1. Introduction. It is notable that the utilization of twisted bars can enormously upgrade the steel, substantial bond limit. 3 principal parts decide the bond strength between the contiguous ribs of a support bar. The 3 principal reasons which will contribute the bond strength between the contiguous ribs of a support bar are shear focuses because of grip along the bar surface, the bearing burdens against the essences of ribs, mechanical interlock, and the erosion between bars with concrete in the rib dales and the encompassing cement. From these the most noteworthy commitment to bond strength is accomplished from mechanical interlock, and on account of their broad application the distorted steel bars were considered in this review. To work on the ductile breaking and forestall substantial disappointment, support utilizing steel bars is completed inside the substantial mass. Substantial support expands the flexural conduct and stacking limit of cement, and thermomechanically treated, TMT, bar improves the bond. Steel functions admirably as support for concrete since it bonds well with concrete, and this bond strength is corresponding to the contact surface of the steel to the substantial. The bond strength significantly differs with changes in blend plan and grade of concrete utilized, and by giving serious hotness restoring, high early bond strength can be accomplished. It is the component that permit the harbor of straight building up bars and impact of numerous other significant highlights of primary cement, for example, brakes control and segment solidness. Also, the connection among cement and improvement length of supporting steel is fundamental for composite activity in building up substantial development. It is notable that the utilization of twisted bars can enormously upgrade the steel substantial security limit. Sufficient holding between building up bars and cement is fundamental for the palatable exhibition of built-up concrete structure. One of the principal suspicion in fostering the hypothesis of supported cement is that the support don't from the encompassing substantial. When substantial sets and subsequently hardness, it will cling to the outer layer of the insertion. Building up bars will grasp around it. There are essential parts adding to security. There are attachment, grading and mechanical harbor. 2. Literature survey. Around the world, there is an expanded utilization of high-strength concrete, HSC, and elite execution concrete, HPC, with compressive strength of 70 to 120 MPa. However, the majority of information on bond and dock conduct among steel and substantial that is utilized, practically speaking, is from the experience on built-up substantial components having a lot of lower substantial strength. For higher strength concrete, a more serious level of flexible and more stiffer bond conduct is relied upon because of the further developed strength and the higher modulus of versatility. The normal bond strength is expanded in HSC as the porosity is decreased because of the expansion of a lot better material, for example, fly debris and silica rage. Notwithstanding, a more weak bond conduct has been accounted for in HSC. However, the bond attributes of the typical cement are sensibly grounded. The bond qualities of HPC utilizing strengthening cementation materials like GGBS, fly debris, and silica seed have not been concentrated exhaustively. And Gubramaya, 2017, has been concluded that the composite activity of cement and steel in built-up substantial constructions is given by bond strength. The necessary bond strength is accomplished by giving adequate improvement length. Non-arrangement of satisfactory advancement lengths regularly brings about disappointments, particularly in cantilever upholds, lap grafts, and bar segment joints. The bond strength is affected by a few elements which include bar distance across, cover concrete, dispersing of support, crossover support, like stirrups, grade of cement, restriction of cement around the bars, totals utilized in concrete, covering applied on bars to decrease consumption, and kind of support bars utilized. Mudfauzi Suleiman, Chowkunma, et al., 2017, has discussed that it is critical to comprehend the conduct of bond and safe haven of support bars with the encompassing cement. The communication between support bars and cement is fundamental to foresee a definitive disappointment of reinforced concrete, RC. The codes of training for normal strength concrete, NSC, give planning port length and can likewise be extrapolated from the test after effects of NSC for the high strength concrete, HSC. A result shows the bond and dock of bars in HSC is moderately more fragile as thought about in NSC. The strategies took on for the testing of security and harbor conduct are pull-out test, 4-point bowing test and cyclic uniaxial flexure under consistent hub load test. Concentrates on shows that the imprisonment impact can work on the security and safe haven conduct of RC, as most of the investigations were centered on different boundaries like substantial cover, implant length, substantial sort, and rib math. In this way, getting whole and to be filled of the impacts of control on the bond and harbor conduct of RC. In this way the exhibition of RC structures relies on the bond collaboration between ribbed bars and cement. The boundaries to be tried ought to incorporate the impacts of substantial cover, insertion length, substantial sort, rib calculation of support, bar distance across, number of stirrups, lap graft district, kind of imprisonment, state of crossover support, preflexural break condition, water/concrete proportion, concrete substance, and crossover support proportion. In light of audit review, features, on the sorts of tests utilized for assessment of bond and mooring of support bars in concrete considering various boundaries, for example, substantial cover, substantial strength, bar measurement, and insertion length, which shows that bond and port conduct of cement are reliant upon the kinds of support utilized. With various support bars gives diverse bond conduct. The test most regularly took on to explore the bond strength of installed support is pull-out test. It is for the most part detailed that bond strength is lower for building up bars with bigger breadths and example with bigger width needs more implanted length to give least state of adequate bond strength. Alkizi and El Tile, 2017, has investigated the bonding ability between non-proprietary UHPC and steel bar reinforcement. They also have been studied the result values obtained by pull-out test and their studies. They found that as soon as increase in embedment leads occurs, it tends to the decrease in the bond strength. They also found that there are few changes occur due to change in the position of bonds with steel in during casting process. In addition, a change in steel fiber affects the bond strength accordingly. Suleiman et al., 2017, has been concluded in their review article, inside bond strength majorly rely on parameters such as concrete strength, type of concrete, diameter of reinforcement, position and strength of bar during reinforcement, etc. They also concluded that, some of the external factors are also responsible to enhance the strength of bond. The aid of pre-stressed elements is one of the same. This increases the lateral strength. According to the authors, the 4-pin pull-out test is most useful for determination of different properties of concrete. Alberto T. Ramirez Garcia et al., 2016, has been studied the effectiveness of length on the bond strength. Authors have been categorized beams in 5 different types. The authors fabricated the numbers of beams for conducting different studies. It has been also found that development of length get affected by concrete strength. S. Musavi, M. Destani and K. Musavi, 2016, has been conducted study in the sense to determine the bond strength and development length of steel bar. They conducted study over 74 different specimens and found that there is minimization of deviation in result values occurred after experimental analysis of variety of specimens. It has been also found that, the generated models by authors are capable to predict bond strength and development strength more accurately. Diji and Shen et al., 2016, were conducted exploratory study of bond strength using high-strength concrete to examine the numerous properties using pull-out test. They found that, the bond strength between steel bar and high-strength concrete increases with the age of reinforcement. Authors also found results for different loading conditions. In case of early aged bond strength, it has ultimate value under axial compressive loading conditions. They also been concluded that, the strength of steel and HSC goes on improving with the raise in concrete strength. Envarma, A.K. Misra, 2015, has studied concrete as the underlying material widely utilized all around the world. The plain concrete can convey pressure. Henceforth to work on the pliable breaking and to forestall substantial disappointment, steel support is utilized inside the substantial mass. Thermomechanically treated, TMT, steel support expands the flexural conduct and stacking limit of cement and furthermore upgrades the bond strength among fortifications and cement. The bond strength is corresponding to the contact surface of the steel to the substantial, incredibly differs with changes in blend plan and grade of concrete utilized, and by giving serious hotness restoring, high early bond strength can be accomplished are a portion of the attributes. Consequently, cement's compressive strength, bar measurement, substantial cover, inserted length, and preflexural break length likewise influence the bond strength. The bond strength is obstruction for division of mortar and cement from building up steel, or different materials, with which it is in touch. In nowadays various types of cement with various properties are made, yet bond strength is fundamental for quality for any RCC structure. Bond strength of cement is controlled by standard takeout test, estimated utilizing Universal Testing Machine, UTM, for certain adjusted game plans. Mayur-Parmar, M.A. Jammu, 2014, was conducted study over direct pull test for straight bar, bent up and headed bar. They found a minimal strength under compression for straight bar in comparison with two other. The headed bar gives the more strength as compared to bent up bar. The headed bar strength is depend on the size of headed, shape of head and also fixing of head to the rod. In their experiment, they only change the bar size and only same the grade of concrete. In an experiment the maximum bond stress in 10 mm bar size 69 knots. Same as 12 mm bar size 88 knots and last 16 mm bar size takes bond strength 130 knots. 3. Conclusion. This review paper has focused on variety of previous researches done in the sense of casting of concrete reinforcement and bond strength. The paper concludes that, with reference to previous studies, the bond strength depends upon different constraints such as concrete type and their strength, the arrangement of bar, reinforcement process etc. The paper also focuses on the pull-out test and importance of same for determination of different properties of reinforcement. Majorly, the length of development has direct impact of concrete strength.